Hey guys, this is Graham over at therecordingrevolution.com. Hope your day is going so well. I want to do a quick video today on stretching a vocal. It can be stretching anything, but stretching a vocal is what I'm going to show you. Using time compression and expansion in Pro Tools, you can do this musically. You can do this very quickly, and there's a few ways to do it. I'm going to show you probably the fastest way to do that. This is helpful if, say, you recorded something and you didn't hold the note out as long as you needed to, and you needed to hold all the way over to a downbeat, or maybe you're doing a remix and you need the vocal to be stretched differently than it was in the original song just to fit the context of what you're remixing. This is going to be really helpful to you and pretty easy, so you might as well know it if you don't already. So let's jump into Pro Tools. I'll show you how to stretch a vocal. Enjoy.
Alright, so I've got a basic session here. Just some drum loops, bass line, a little acoustic guitar, and a little pad. And it's the same little mini song repeating. And then I have a vocal lead over top. And so what I want to show you is an area where I would probably do a vocal stretch to change the way I perform the song after the fact, if that's what I'm left with, or if someone gave me this track and I was mixing it and I thought it'd be cooler to sort of mess with the vocal a little bit. Take a listen to what we have originally, and then we'll show you in context what I want to stretch.
Feeling all alone, sitting here for hours. I'll wait. Won't you come along, my friend? Need your power and your love.
So right there, that last line, needs your power and your love. This is where I want to try something different, where I will move the last line out of the way. And so let's do that. I'm going to select it. I'm going to hit the letter B to break it into its own region. And I'm just going to slide that over here. I'm actually getting grid mode here. Get it right there. Cool. And I'm just getting that out of the way. That's it. Because what I want to do is stretch this line. So I'm going to go back into slip mode. And what you want to do with stretching vocals is find the point where the vocal is finally holding that one note. So I'm saying a few words here, power and, so once I get to the and, which is right about there, that's where I'm holding that one note. That's what you actually want to stretch. You don't want to stretch anything before that because that's all the vowels and syllables and it's going to get all jacked up. So what I like to do is come in here and select and press letter B to break it. So it's splitting the region here. And then I'm just going to sort of go over here and delete the very edge. So my region is pretty much just the and that I want. And at this point, what I'm going to do is use the time compression and expansion trimmer to just drag this thing out a little bit. And I'll show you what I mean. Up at the top, you have your edit tools. And normally you've got, you know, a trimmer up here, standard trimmer. And it just lets you trim something back to delete it or trim it back to reveal it. That's all it does. But if you click and hold, you have a few different variations of the trimmer tool, and TCE, time compression expansion, is what we're going to use for this stretching of the vocal. And what I'm going to do is then keep that and go back into the smart tool so I can still do some other things here. And all I have to do at this point is just stretch what I want. And it is going to stretch that out, expand it out, and we'll take a listen. Beautiful. And if you hear a little slight pop, this transition here, just do a little fade. Say no worries, adjust the balance to make that fade happen.
Need your power and your love.
And that's vocal stretching in Pro Tools. It's really, really simple. But just so you know what is happening underneath here and where you can make some adjustments, I'm going to show you a couple menu options just so you know how you can best suit this for your material. The time compression expansion, I've got it set up in the preferences to use a certain algorithm. And to look at that, you just go to Setup, Preferences, and you're going to get the big old dialog box, Pro Tools Preferences. Over here in the Processing tab, it's already showing up. I've got TCE, and you can use different plugins. So if you've purchased, Pitch and Time or Synchro Arts, any of these guys, you can buy extra plugins. They have their own pitch shifting algorithms, which sound fantastic. Everyone that buys a Pro Tools system gets the basic DigiDesign TCE, which has been there for years. And then just a couple years ago, Pro Tools gave you Time Shift as an audio suite plugin, and that had a very nice stretching algorithm. So I prefer that to the DigiDesign one. So what I'm doing here is setting Time Shift to be the plugin that Pro Tools will use when I do that trimmer, that TCE trimmer. And then you can have default settings, which can be like, okay, well, what algorithm in that do you want it to use? Do you want it to always default to a bass algorithm or a polyphonic? I had this set to male vocal because usually that's what I'm stretching. But of course, you can change that to just instrumental polyphonic. It could be a stereo mix if you're actually going to stretch a whole song. If it needs to be a little faster, you could compress the entire song and make it shorter in your track, and it'll keep the right pitch, which is amazing. But you can sort of see the options available to you. So I had that already set on Time Shift and male vocal, and you just come down and click OK or press Enter. And that's what it's doing in the background. It's just using the Audio Suite Time Shift plugin. That's the algorithm it's going to use in the background to do your stretching. And it's that simple. So you just select what you want, and the key is, again, to separate it after the talking. So here's the... Once you get to that note that you're holding out, that's where you want to break it and stretch the very end. And that's pretty much it. That is vocal stretching in Pro Tools. One of the easiest ways I know how to do it right there in the edit window without going into too much detail. I'm sure you can find some really awesome and creative ways to do this for remixing, for changing an edit that should have been there in the first place, carrying notes over to the downbeat. Whatever it is, even if it's a little stretching, this can go a long way to make your track sound exactly the way you want. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys. This is Graham over at therecordingrevolution.com. Guys, we have articles and videos coming out every single week, and if you're new to the site or just following me on YouTube, go to the site right now, download my brand new ebook, The #1 Rule of Home Recording. That'll really help you as you're diving into home recording and producing to mentally approach every aspect of the home studio. This one rule is really going to save you a lot of time and money, and it's a free ebook, so it's a completely free download. You just sign up for the newsletter and you're going to get it instantly in your inbox. So check that out at therecordingrevolution.com. Guys, thanks for checking in. We'll see you soon.